Mostly to, I can't think of the word, mostly to reset or can't think of the word, bring in the information that I learnt last year to really compound it again this year, because I'd sort of dropped off the track a little bit, and it was just really good knowing that when you're with a group, it actually really helps motivate you to push yourself along to get back into it, as opposed to just trying to do it by yourself. So it was really to sort of make that knowledge a lot more sound and embedded in up here. That I had Irma and Michael quite close, and that we were able to catch up regularly, and we have now continued to catch up to go on our regular walks. And it's just, the company's just wonderful. The camaraderie, yeah, that makes it, I must say, a lot better. And that I've managed to get back up onto a step where I can now continue to move forward. And I really needed the retreat to help me get back up on that step, to help me move forward, because it's can't think of the word, Rob, but it's a compounder the information and the knowledge, and it's allowed me to get more motivated just to continue it on again. I think really getting back out into the bush and nature again, which I've always loved, but that I dropped off a bit, and just reinforcing that and just reminding me of how wonderful that is, and how invigorating it is, and how it's great for the mind, great for the fitness. And it just turns you on to be more motivated again, and it drops off all those worries and other things you may having to be dealing with daily life. So I found that's one of the biggest wins. And I also found, even though I don't like cooking that much, I found the cooking sessions and getting into more of the meal plans a lot better. I wouldn't probably meal plans probably still every night, but I just know that I'd have a couple each week, and then I've got some even better foods, and then cook it in larger amounts, so you've got extra amounts. So I actually found that way more invigorating than what I was last year. Well, it actually brings you back the passion and reminds you of the passion that you have for it, that can get lost along the way amongst in life stuff. So yeah, I found the support and the knowledge in the meetings was really good. There's stuff in there that I've sort of been aware of, but it was really good to revisit it, because you can forget a lot of that. So I think that's really vitally important, are those knowledge sessions. And there is so much support from you and Emily, and I guess Hayley in the kitchen and so on that sort of side of things, on the cooking, but massive support. So, and I find the feedback that we got each week was also really valuable, because sometimes where you sort of think, oh, you didn't do so well, didn't do this, this, and that, you are able to really break that survey down, and you are able to pick the points out really I can't think of the word, decisively, or quite I can't think of the word. Anyway, succinct, very succinct, and you were able to then put that there. You were able to put that back to us, and it was really good. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm finding there's lots of other people out there who try diets, try this, try that, and things work and things don't. But this is, I just find it's a wholesome program. So it gives you the ability, with those skills and knowledge, to be able to move forward, about look at your food, look at your fitness, very holistically, to allow you to make improvements and to make gains, and to make it actually something that's more sustainable, as opposed to, someone suggests go on a soup diet for 3 weeks or something like that. That's not sustainable. So it allows you to give you the knowledge to be able to then start searching to, when you go to shopping or you go to deal with what your fitness or whatever. So if your aim is to wanting to lose weight as well, that really helps with that, because it's really wholesome. It's very holistic. But if that might be your gain and it's just more about getting into fitness, it does all that as well. You're embedding that all that knowledge within you, and I'm finding that it does get easier to start following and to move it, especially on the carb awareness. I've found that that's been huge. Even though I had a few setbacks during the program, it's interesting in the last week since we've finished. I've gone off quite off bread. I've been quite happy to just now move it away. The craving's gone, and I'm quite happy with the feeling that I've got of, you know, not the bloating and not all the you know, the puffiness and all that sort of stuff. I'm feeling lighter, and I mean, a few kilos lighter anyway, but just the feeling lighter. And it's such a good feeling that you want to continue with that momentum. Because a lot
So,
of people can be walking around and they don't have anything to compare it with, so they don't know they're in that state. And then once you've actually tried something where it actually removes that and makes you feel better, you then got something to compare the difference to. I was going to say, in my younger days and early days of ballet and fitness and running and yeah, same sort of thing when I was in my early teens and I was doing it was actually a 10 by X army routine book thing, and I was doing exercise every night, and I became very fitness conscious, and I continued that for years. And with eating, it was only probably in last 10, 15 years that's because of other things coming into life and taking and really distracting you. It sort of got moved sideways. And I sort of went back to this thing of going, well, this is just not me, but I just didn't like it. And so I've just found the whole retreat doing it again. It's reinvigorating to just bring it back, get you back on track. And not everyone maybe would need to do it every year. But I just think doing an initial one, it really just gives you that sound, solid knowledge, gives you the support, gives you the information to actually just move you on. And depending on where the person's at, they either really fly with it or they may sort of go along and then slide down a bit. And that's where it's always really good to revisit the information. And each time I've noticed, Rob, is that you've also got the newer information and the more updated research on the information. So that really brings it home. Definitely daily.
awesome.
Depending, and that can vary as to how long or short. And I even practice a bit more of mindfulness. So just even pauses during the day where you might go and have 5 minutes just pausing and doing that mindfulness sort of exercise. The walking and bringing that back in more so and longer. And I aim to get back up to the cross-country skiing, and I need to be walking to get the fitness for the cross-country skiing, which is close by up at Lake Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The consciousness is really big now and really mindful. And after making a lot more of those spice things that you've given us, with not having to get all that processed sauces and things like that with all extra preservatives and stuff in it that you don't need, definitely